The galaxy made a mistake. They underestimated humans. Now their wrath is unstoppable. Watch as the stars tremble before humanity. Subscribe now to see more epic human victories that shook the galaxy. Don't miss a single story of courage, strategy, and unstoppable power. Across countless star systems, the galaxy's greatest civilizations looked down on humanity with a mixture of curiosity and contempt. They saw Earth as a small, insignificant planet orbiting an average star, filled with creatures that had barely begun to explore their own world. From the distant observation decks of massive alien fleets, humans appeared primitive, unorganized, and easily overlooked. Leaders of powerful empires laughed at reports of human achievements, dismissing them as minor, unimportant, and irrelevant. No one believed that a species so young could pose any real threat to the established galactic order. Humans had always lived under the shadow of larger, more advanced civilizations. Yet instead of fostering fear or awe, this obscurity allowed them to grow in secret, developing technologies and strategies that no one would expect. Aliens believed humans would react predictably, that their emotions and decisions could be calculated and controlled, but humans were different. Their unpredictability, creativity, and tenacity had been owned over centuries of survival on a harsh, competitive planet. Something the galaxy failed to recognize was that humans did not rely on sheer numbers or overwhelming force. They used intelligence, cooperation, and ingenuity, qualities that even the most advanced species found difficult to counter. The aliens. Overconfidence became their blind spot. While they sent scouts and monitoring probes, they assumed humans would follow the patterns they had seen in other species. Underestimating humans was an easy mistake to make, since the galaxy was full of creatures that lacked imagination or resilience. Reports of human innovation were often dismissed as anomalies or exaggerations. Any warnings that humans might be clever or resourceful were ignored, because no empire could imagine a species rising so quickly without external guidance. This complacency created a dangerous underestimation that would soon turn into regret. Humanity's growth had been quiet and unnoticed. Their colonies expanded slowly across neighboring systems, and their fleets remained small but efficient. Each step forward was calculated, hidden from prying eyes. The galaxy's leaders never saw the human potential because they never looked closely enough. They relied on outdated assumptions, comparing humans to species that had failed to progress in the same way. They did not understand that humans were not just another species to be cataloged. They were adaptable, resilient, and capable of learning from every mistake. Every challenge humans faced made them stronger. Every hardship forged a species that could survive almost anything. The human spirit was unique in the galaxy, driven by curiosity, ambition, and a stubborn refusal to be subdued. Unlike other civilizations that valued stability and predictability, humans thrived on change, risk, and innovation. Aliens who observed them saw only isolated incidents of success, never realizing that humans had developed a culture of problem-solving and collaboration. The galaxy assumed that humans would panic under pressure, fail when faced with superior forces, and crumble when confronted with the unexpected. They could not imagine that humans were constantly preparing for challenges, constantly improving, and constantly learning. This invisible preparation became humanity's hidden strength. Even on Earth, humans worked tirelessly, building networks, alliances, and knowledge that could be leveraged in ways the galaxy could never predict. While alien empires debated strategies based on outdated intelligence, humans were experimenting, testing, and refining technologies and tactics that would later become crucial. The aliens' arrogance blinded them to the obvious truth. Humans were evolving, growing, and readying themselves for challenges far beyond the understanding of anyone who dismissed them. By the time the galaxy noticed, humans would already be a force to be reckoned with, their capabilities far exceeding any expectation. It was not malice or aggression that humans were hiding, but a combination of survival instinct, ingenuity, and relentless drive. The galaxy thought it was observing weakness, but in reality, it was witnessing preparation. Humans had learned to endure, adapt, and innovate in ways that alien civilizations could not comprehend. This quiet growth, this underestimated potential, was the first sign that the galaxy had made a grave mistake, one that would echo through countless systems, change alliances, and redefine the balance of power. Every decision the aliens made based on their assumptions of human inferiority brought them closer to shock. They had assumed the galaxy's order was stable, that humans were insignificant, but their judgment was flawed. Humans were not just survivors. They were problem solvers, fighters, and dreamers. Capable of unimaginable feats when underestimated. The galaxy's mistake was not noticing humanity's potential sooner, and that error would soon reveal itself in ways no empire could ignore. The era of underestimation was coming to an end, and humanity was quietly, patiently, waiting to show its true strength. A small conflict on a distant human colony ignited tensions that no one expected to escalate. What began as a routine border dispute quickly drew the attention of powerful alien civilizations. Confident in their superiority, the aliens assumed it would be an easy display of force. They sent fleets to intimidate humans and enforce their will, expecting little resistance. Humans, however, reacted with a determination that surprised everyone. They refused to back down, using every resource and tactic at their disposal. The aliens had believed humanity would panic or surrender, but the opposite happened. Humans were not just defending territory. They were defending their pride, their people, and their right to exist. Scientists, engineers, and military strategists worked together, turning the colony into a stronghold capable of withstanding attacks. Every defense was carefully planned, and every action was unpredictable to the alien observers. The aliens quickly realized that humans were cleverer than they had assumed. Their strategies were unlike anything the galaxy had encountered. Instead of following conventional tactics, humans adapted in real time, learning from each encounter and improving immediately. The first skirmishes shattered the aliens' confidence. Their ships, which they believed would dominate easily, were repelled by human ingenuity. Human fleets, though smaller, moved with precision and coordination that the aliens could not anticipate. Every maneuver seemed to anticipate the enemy's next move. Humans used the environment to their advantage, exploiting asteroid fields, gravitational anomalies, and even solar flares to turn the tide in their favor. What the aliens had thought was a minor irritation became a nightmare. They began to understand that humans could fight in ways that broke every expectation. News of the resistance spread quickly, both across human space and the wider galaxy. Other alien civilizations started to take notice. Confident empires that had never feared humanity were forced to reevaluate their assumptions. Meanwhile, humans continued to innovate, inventing new weapons and defensive systems faster than anyone could predict. Communication networks allowed colonies and fleets to share tactics instantly. Every victory, no matter how small, was studied and refined to improve future engagements. The humans' learning ability became their most dangerous weapon. The aliens' arrogance turned into frustration and fear. They had underestimated humans not once, but repeatedly. Each unexpected strategy, each daring attack, proved that humanity was capable of far more than any intelligence report had indicated. The galaxy had assumed humans were weak, predictable, and inexperienced. But each skirmish proved those assumptions wrong. For the first time, alien leaders began to doubt their supremacy. They were forced to recognize that humans were more resourceful, resilient, and cunning than anyone had imagined. Humanity's response was not driven by anger alone, but by the instinct to survive and protect what they valued. Every human involved in the conflict knew that giving in was not an option. This resolve created a unity that the aliens could not understand. Where they saw disorganization and chaos, humans found coordination and strength. Their ability to communicate quickly, adapt, and innovate turned every disadvantage into an opportunity. Even the smallest human vessels became deadly when guided by human creativity. The alien fleets, once confident in their superiority, began to suffer unexpected losses. Ships were destroyed in ways that should have been impossible according to conventional galactic tactics. Morale among alien crews faltered as human strategies continued to outsmart them. Meanwhile, human commanders grew bolder, testing new approaches with precision and courage. The initial border skirmish escalated into a larger confrontation, one that exposed the aliens' underestimation and forced them to reconsider the entire campaign. What the galaxy did not realize was that this was only the beginning. Humans were learning from every battle, adapting faster than any alien species could comprehend. They were turning each conflict into a lesson. each victory into preparation for the next challenge. The aliens had treated the incident as minor, but humans had turned it into a proving ground for their strength and ingenuity. The first real conflict revealed the vast difference between appearance and reality, between what the galaxy assumed about humanity and what humans were truly capable of. By the end of the initial skirmishes, humans had proven that they were not to be underestimated. Their unexpected resilience and clever tactics shocked the galaxy. Once dismissed colonies became symbols of human courage. The alien empires learned that humanity was capable of fighting back in ways no one could predict. The spark of conflict had revealed a force that was growing stronger by the day. And for the first time, the galaxy began to fear the unstoppable wrath of humanity. News of the initial conflict spread quickly across Earth and its colonies, uniting humans in a way that had never happened before. Old rivalries, political disputes, and regional disagreements were set aside as everyone recognized the larger threat. Humanity understood that survival depended on working together. The people of Earth, along with their colonies in nearby star systems, began to organize, pooling resources, knowledge, and skills to prepare for the looming alien threat. Scientists, engineers, and military strategists collaborated, sharing ideas and innovations across networks that spanned planets, governments, and private organizations alike contributed to the defense effort. Every human, regardless of location or role, found a way to help. Engineers developed advanced spacecraft and weaponry designed specifically to counter alien technologies. Pilots trained relentlessly, learning to execute complex maneuvers with precision. Communication networks allowed information to flow instantly between colonies. Each new tactic and strategy was tested and refined at an incredible pace. The aliens had assumed humans would be disorganized and slow to respond. But in reality, humans were adapting faster than any enemy could predict. The unity among humans became their greatest strength. People on Earth and across colonies were no longer isolated. They worked as a single, interconnected force, learning from each other and building on every small success. Civilians contributed too, constructing defenses, supplying resources, and supporting those on the front lines. Every act, no matter how minor it seemed, strengthened humanity's overall position. Humans had learned that cooperation, intelligence, and determination could overcome even the most advanced alien technology. Technology played a central role in humanity's preparation. Scientists reverse-engineered captured alien devices, turning enemy weapons and systems into tools for their own defense. Engineers created fleets that were small but extremely efficient. Ships were designed for speed, maneuverability, and adaptability, rather than brute force. Humans also focused on training AI and automated systems to assist in combat. This combination of human ingenuity and technological advancement allowed them to anticipate alien moves and counter them effectively. Each new innovation made the aliens' assumptions about human weakness even more wrong. Training and education became widespread, ensuring that everyone involved, from pilots to engineers to colony leaders, understood the overall strategy. Humans learned to fight not just individually, but as a coordinated unit across multiple planets. Each battle, simulation, and experiment added to their growing expertise. The more the aliens underestimated them, the more humans proved that their potential was limitless. Resilience became a hallmark of humanity. They were not easily discouraged or intimidated. Every challenge was met with creativity, courage, and determination. The colonies, once considered insignificant outposts, became vital parts of humanity's defense network. Each one contributed knowledge, resources, and tactical advantages. Humans built a communication system that allowed instantaneous sharing of strategies and discoveries. Information that once took months or years to travel could now be shared in moments. This gave humans an unprecedented edge, allowing them to coordinate attacks, defenses, and innovations in real time. Alien observers struggled to understand how such a relatively young civilization could achieve such efficiency and coordination. Humans also developed new ways to understand their enemies, gathering intelligence, analyzing patterns, and predicting potential strategies. They learned to anticipate alien moves before they even occurred. Humans combined logic, creativity, and intuition to devise tactics that no alien species could foresee. They learned from every encounter, every small skirmish, constantly improving and evolving. What the aliens had expected to be a minor distraction had turned into a large-scale human preparation and mobilization. The galaxy underestimated not just human strength, but human determination, intelligence, and unity. Every human contribution, from engineers creating weapons to civilians providing support, strengthened the species as a whole. The effort was collective, not just military, showing that humans were capable of organizing and executing large-scale operations effectively. Even setbacks and failures were used as learning opportunities, making humanity stronger with every challenge. The unity, creativity, and relentless work ethic of humans transformed fear and uncertainty into power and confidence. They were preparing not just to survive, but to win against forces that had long considered themselves invincible. By the time the aliens fully realized what was happening, humans were already a coordinated, adaptive, and innovative force, ready to face threats on multiple fronts. Their preparation had made them unpredictable and formidable. No longer could the galaxy view humans as weak or insignificant. The species that had once been underestimated had become a united, clever, and resilient force, capable of turning even the smallest opportunity into victory. Humanity's wrath was growing quietly, steadily, and inevitably. The alien fleet arrived at the edge of human-controlled space, massive and imposing. Their ships outnumbered human vessels many times over, and their weapons were far superior. They expected little resistance, confident that humans would flee or surrender. But what awaited them was entirely unexpected. Humans had prepared in secret, anticipating the aliens' every move. Every fleet, every colony, every human outpost was ready to fight with strategy and precision. The aliens assumed dominance, but they had walked into a trap of intelligence and careful planning. Human commanders had studied the enemy extensively, learning the patterns, weaknesses, and tactics of the alien fleet. They did not rely on brute force. Instead, they used speed, agility, and cunning to offset their smaller numbers. Ambushes were set along asteroid belts. Gravitational anomalies were used to create natural shields, and even solar activity was turned into a weapon. Humans transformed the environment into an ally, making every space battle unpredictable. Each maneuver challenged the aliens' assumptions, leaving them confused and frustrated. The first encounters shocked the galaxy. Alien ships, designed to overwhelm, were intercepted and destroyed by smaller human vessels. Outnumbered and outgunned, humans fought with precision and daring that defied logic. Every move seemed to anticipate the enemy's next attack. Human pilots executed complex tactics that no alien strategist could foresee. They used misdirection, feints, and rapid redeployment to turn disadvantages into victories. Even elite alien commanders began to doubt their superiority. For the first time, they realized that humans were not the easy targets they had assumed. Human technology played a crucial role. Ships were equipped with adaptive weapons and shields that could adjust to alien attacks in real time. AI-assisted targeting allowed for precision strikes, and communications networks ensured that every human ship could share information instantly. Even when an alien ship attempted to retreat or regroup, humans anticipated the move and adjusted their strategy accordingly. The aliens had counted on predictable human behavior, but humans had learned to be unpredictable. Each encounter became a lesson, teaching humans more about the enemy and improving their tactics for the next battle. Colonies that were thought vulnerable became bastions of strength. Human forces coordinated attacks across multiple locations, creating chaos among the alien ranks. Did not fight as isolated units, but as an interconnected force spanning planets and star systems. Every action was part of a larger plan. Every decision was informed by real-time intelligence and adaptive strategy. The aliens, despite their superior numbers, found themselves outmaneuvered, outsmarted, and unprepared for the level of human coordination. Morale among human forces was high, fueled by early successes and a growing belief in their abilities. Every victory, no matter how small, reinforced confidence and inspired daring. Humans had learned that courage, intelligence, and unity could defeat even the most intimidating enemy. They turned fear into strength and desperation into innovation. Each engagement proved that the aliens' assumptions about human weakness were entirely wrong. The galaxy had underestimated a species capable of fighting back with creativity and relentless determination. As the battles continued, humans exploited weaknesses in alien formations, targeting supply lines, communication hubs, and command centers. Each strike was calculated to maximize effect while minimizing risk. Humans avoided unnecessary losses and preserved their resources. While the alien fleets relied on overwhelming force, humans relied on adaptability, speed, and clever tactics. Every encounter reshaped the battlefield in their favor. Slowly but surely, they turned a seemingly impossible situation into a series of victories. The aliens were forced to reconsider their strategy, their confidence shattered, and their assumptions challenged at every turn. Human resilience and adaptability became clear, and they could no longer rely on brute strength alone. What they had expected to be a routine campaign became a prolonged struggle. Humans had not only defended their territory, but had exposed the weaknesses of even the most advanced fleets in the galaxy. Each success strengthened their reputation and spread fear among alien civilizations. By the end of the first major engagement, humans had proven that they were not only survivors, but innovators and strategists, capable of turning small forces into decisive victories. The galaxy witnessed the rise of a species that had been underestimated, and for the first time, the aliens realized that humans were a threat that could not be ignored. Their confidence replaced by caution, their superiority questioned. Humanity had transformed a simple confrontation into a demonstration of ingenuity, courage, and the unstoppable spirit that would define the rest of the war. Human commanders quickly realized that conventional tactics alone would not defeat the alien fleets. They understood that to survive, humans had to be unpredictable, innovative, and relentless. Every battle became a test of creativity and adaptability. With each encounter, human forces studied the enemy, analyzing weaknesses, patterns, and tendencies. Then they turned those observations into strategies designed to catch the aliens off guard. Unlike other species in the galaxy, humans did not rely on sheer numbers or brute force. They used intelligence, ingenuity, and coordination to create advantages where none seemed to exist. The human strategy was based on flexibility. Every ship, pilot, and colony could act independently while still contributing to the overall plan. Ambushes, feints, and counterattacks were designed to confuse and demoralize the enemy. Humans made the most of every opportunity, turning small victories into momentum. Even when facing larger fleets, human commanders found ways to exploit gaps, using speed and precision to strike where it hurt most. Their tactics were unlike anything the galaxy had seen before, and alien forces struggled to keep up. Technology amplified human effectiveness. Adaptive weapons, automated defense systems, and AI-assisted targeting allowed humans to fight smarter, not harder. They could respond to enemy maneuvers almost instantly, adjusting tactics mid-battle. Even alien spies and scouts could not predict human moves because humans deliberately varied their approach. This unpredictability became a key strength, making every engagement dangerous and confusing for the aliens. What the galaxy had assumed would be a predictable species was instead a force of constant innovation. Human ingenuity was not limited to weapons alone. Supply lines, communications, and intelligence networks were all integrated into the strategy. Colonies and fleets shared information in real time, allowing rapid adaptation and coordinated attacks across multiple fronts. Even isolated groups could achieve incredible feats by leveraging shared knowledge and planning. This ability to unite disparate forces into a single, cohesive strategy was something alien civilizations had never encountered. Each small victory reinforced confidence and encouraged even more creative tactics. Humans also embraced risk in ways the aliens did not. Where other species prioritized safety and predictability, humans used daring maneuvers to gain advantages. Pilots performed high-speed attacks, engineers deployed experimental weapons, and commanders orchestrated multi-layered operations. Every challenge was treated as an opportunity to innovate and gain experience. This willingness to act boldly, combined with careful planning, made humans formidable opponents. Each move forced the aliens to rethink their assumptions and expend resources to counter strategies they could not anticipate. The adaptability of human forces was matched by their resilience. Losses were studied carefully, and mistakes became lessons for future battles. Humans did not panic or retreat in the face of superior firepower. Instead, they learned, improved, and came back stronger. Every setback strengthened the overall strategy. Each victory, small or large, increased morale and solidified the belief that humans could overcome any challenge. This combination of learning, adaptation, and courage made humanity's wrath unstoppable. Alien commanders began to realize that their usual tactics were ineffective. Their fleets, designed to overwhelm through numbers and firepower, were constantly outmaneuvered. Humans exploited weaknesses in formation, targeted command centers, and disrupted supply chains. Each engagement revealed new vulnerabilities in the alien forces. For every attack the aliens attempted, humans responded with countermeasures that evolved in real time. The tide of battles shifted repeatedly, but always in favor of those who combined intelligence with creativity. The humans' ability to innovate extended to strategy as a whole. They anticipated not only enemy actions but also the consequences of their own decisions. Human planners thought several steps ahead, setting traps, manipulating enemy expectations, and preparing contingencies for every possible outcome. Alien leaders, accustomed to predictable opponents, were unprepared for this level of foresight. Humans were proving that war was not just about firepower, but about vision, adaptation, and clever execution. As the conflict continued, humans became increasingly confident. Each victory built on the last. And with every success, their ability to strategize and innovate grew. The aliens were forced to retreat, reconsider, and adapt constantly. Unable to rely on brute force alone, humanity's clever strategies turned every disadvantage into an opportunity. Their resourcefulness became legendary. Even the most elite alien forces began to fear engaging humans directly. By the end of these campaigns, it was clear that human strategy was unstoppable. They had transformed themselves from a seemingly weak and insignificant species into a force capable of defying expectations, outsmarting superior technology, and defeating opponents thought invincible. The combination of adaptability, ingenuity, courage, and relentless learning ensured that humanity's wrath could not be stopped. Every battle proved that the galaxy had once again underestimated a species that was ready to claim its place among the stars. Alien forces that had once moved through the galaxy with confidence now faced unexpected setbacks. Each engagement with human fleets revealed flaws in their assumptions and weaknesses in their formations. What they believed would be quick victories turned into prolonged battles that tested their patience, skill, and morale. Humans had learned to fight together across planets and systems, coordinating attacks that struck at multiple points simultaneously. Each victory, no matter how small, shifted momentum in favor of humanity. Alien commanders were forced to adapt constantly, struggling to predict the moves of a species they had once dismissed as insignificant. The more humans fought, the stronger and more organized they became. Their strategies were refined with every encounter. Each success taught new lessons that were quickly implemented. Communication networks allowed human forces to share intelligence instantly. Ensuring that victories were repeated and mistakes were avoided, humans fought not just with technology, but with creativity. Using deception, surprise attacks, and environmental advantages to their benefit. Every battle was a demonstration of ingenuity and adaptability, leaving alien forces frustrated and demoralized. Galactic propaganda that had once portrayed humans as weak and cowardly collapsed under the weight of repeated defeats. Colonies thought lost were recaptured through clever tactics, each operation demonstrating precision and planning. Human resilience inspired awe and fear across the galaxy. Alien civilizations began to realize that their previous assessments of humanity had been entirely wrong. They had assumed humans would panic or surrender under pressure, but each encounter proved the opposite. Humanity's persistence and determination had transformed them into an unpredictable and dangerous opponent. Humans did not rely solely on brute strength. They combined intellect, strategy, and coordination to create advantages in every battle. Smaller fleets could defeat larger alien forces by using speed, positioning, and precise strikes. Every encounter reinforced the humans' ability to adapt. They learned from mistakes, observed enemy reactions, and improved continuously. Alien forces, despite their superior numbers and weapons, struggled to respond. Their confidence eroded as humans demonstrated a combination of resilience, intelligence, and daring. Even colonies that had previously been considered unimportant became critical in the fight. Each one contributed resources, information, and strategic positions. Humans leveraged these assets to create multi-layered operations, striking at alien fleets, supply lines, and communication hubs simultaneously. Every coordinated move showcased the level of preparation, training, and ingenuity humanity had achieved. Alien forces were now constantly reacting, forced to defend against tactics they could not predict. Every success strengthened human morale and made future victories more likely. The tide of war began to turn decisively. Alien forces that had once been bold and arrogant were now cautious, hesitant, and fearful. Their attacks were met with resistance that seemed impossible. Each failed maneuver revealed human adaptability and cunning. Humans exploited every weakness, turning even small advantages into decisive outcomes. The galaxy witnessed the rise of a species that could outthink and outfight forces far more advanced than itself. Humans demonstrated that preparation, creativity, and coordination could outweigh numbers and technology. Human morale soared as they continued to win engagements that had seemed impossible. Every citizen, pilot, and engineer felt part of a larger purpose. Their unity was unmatched. Their ability to act together across distances and planets created an advantage no single alien fleet could match. Even when facing powerful alien admirals and elite troops, humans found ways to exploit gaps, mislead opponents, and strike with precision. Each encounter added to a growing legend of human ingenuity and bravery, inspiring both allies and fear in enemies. The aliens were forced to rethink their strategy entirely. Their traditional tactics, based on superior firepower and predictable behavior, no longer worked. Humans had transformed the battlefield into an arena of unpredictability. Strategy and cleverness now outweighed sheer force. Every loss for the aliens reinforced humanity's growing reputation as a species that could not be underestimated. Fear began to replace arrogance, caution replaced confidence, and hesitation replaced decisiveness. The galaxy started to recognize that humans were not just surviving, but dominating through strategy and intellect. Humans' relentless approach reshaped the balance of power. Each victory demonstrated that they could fight on multiple fronts, adapt quickly, and recover from setbacks. Alien fleets that had once thought themselves invincible now faced constant defeat. Their morale collapsed while human confidence surged. Humanity had become the force that the galaxy could neither ignore nor control. Their clever tactics, coordination, and adaptability had turned the tables completely. What had begun as underestimation had now become the revelation of a species whose wrath could not be stopped. By the end of these campaigns, it was clear that humans had rewritten the rules of engagement in the galaxy. They had proven that intelligence, unity, and ingenuity could overcome superior numbers and technology. Alien civilizations had no choice but respect the power and unpredictability of humanity. Every victory reinforced the growing legend of a species once underestimated, now unstoppable. The galaxy would never again treat humans as weak or insignificant. For every loss, every miscalculation, and every underestimated move, the humans had demonstrated that their wrath was real, formidable, and unstoppable. In the heart of the galaxy, a massive battle was about to begin. Humans faced the Empire's strongest fleet, a force that had defeated countless civilizations. Alien admirals believed they would crush humanity quickly, expecting the humans to break under overwhelming firepower. But humans were prepared. Every ship, every commander, and every colony had been trained, equipped, and coordinated for this moment. The humans did not rely on luck or chance. They had studied the enemy's strategies, learned from every prior engagement, and developed countermeasures to exploit every weakness. As the fleets clashed, the aliens were shocked by human tactics. Humans moved with precision, striking at weak points and creating confusion among superior forces. Small human squadrons could outmaneuver much larger ships, striking where the enemy was least protected. The humans used the environment to their advantage, hiding in asteroid fields, using gravitational pulls to accelerate attacks, and deploying decoys to mislead the enemy. Every move seemed calculated to force the aliens into mistakes, and the aliens, confident in their strength, fell into trap after trap. Human technology played a critical role in the confrontation. Adaptive shields and weapon systems allowed humans to respond instantly to alien attacks. AI-assisted targeting ensured that even the fastest enemy ships could be neutralized. Communication networks connected every human vessel, allowing them to act as a single, coordinated force despite the chaos of battle. The aliens had assumed humans would be predictable, but every tactic, every maneuver was designed to surprise and overwhelm them. Humans were turning strategy, innovation, and coordination into weapons more deadly than lasers or missiles. The aliens tried to regroup and launch coordinated strikes, but humans anticipated their every move. Each counterattack disrupted the enemy's formations, causing chaos and forcing them to retreat or scatter. What seemed like an unstoppable force was now disoriented, unable to adapt to the humans' clever maneuvers. Human commanders were always one step ahead, using a combination of deception, intelligence, and experience to exploit every opening. Every alien misstep was met with a swift and decisive human response, and each success strengthened the humans' confidence and determination. Human crews showed remarkable courage and skill. Pilots executed daring maneuvers that others would have considered suicidal. Engineers repaired ships mid-battle, ensuring maximum efficiency. Every person contributed to the overall victory, no matter how small their role seemed. The unity and coordination of human forces turned the battlefield into a demonstration of what ingenuity, bravery, and preparation could achieve. Alien admirals began to realize that their best strategies were failing, and that humanity was not only surviving, but dominating, despite inferior numbers. Even when alien reinforcements arrived, humans adapted quickly, splitting forces to counter multiple threats, using intelligence from previous battles to predict enemy movements, and exploiting alien weaknesses that no one had noticed before. The humans' ability to learn and respond in real time gave them an advantage that sheer firepower could not match. Each encounter reinforced that humans were unpredictable, adaptable, and capable of achieving the impossible. The galaxy watched in awe as a species once dismissed as weak now commanded the battlefield with skill and precision. The turning point came when humans launched a coordinated strike at the heart of the alien command fleet. Using speed, strategy, and deception, they bypassed stronger ships to target the core, disabling communications and creating disarray. Alien admirals were powerless to restore order as humans struck decisively. Each blow weakened the fleet and shattered morale. The aliens had underestimated not just human technology, but human intelligence and creativity. Their belief in their own superiority crumbled in the face of human innovation. By the end of the battle, the Empire's strongest fleet had been defeated. The aliens had suffered massive losses, and their confidence was broken. Humans had turned what seemed like impossible odds into a victory that changed the balance of power. Their combination of courage, adaptability, and strategy had proven unstoppable. The galaxy witnessed that humans could fight not only with skill, but with ingenuity and unity that no enemy could predict. The species that had once been underestimated had now become a force that commanded respect and fear. Humans emerged victorious against overwhelming odds. Their victory was not just military, but a demonstration of their intelligence, creativity, and determination. The aliens realized that humanity's wrath could not be contained, that no fleet, no technology, and no strategy could easily defeat a species that learned, adapted, and innovated faster than anyone could anticipate. The battle marked a turning point in galactic history, showing that humans were no longer insignificant, but a force to be reckoned with. Their strength, unity, and cleverness had made them unstoppable, and the galaxy could no longer ignore them. Humans emerged from the war not as conquerors, but as a force that demanded respect across the galaxy. Their victories had proven that no civilization, no matter how advanced, could underestimate them and survive. Alien fleets that once moved with arrogance now approached with caution. Every encounter with humans carried risk, and every plan had to account for their ingenuity and adaptability. Humans had shown that strength was not only about numbers or firepower, but about intelligence, courage, and unity. The species that had once been dismissed as insignificant had earned a place among the galaxy's most formidable powers. On Earth, and throughout the human colonies, celebrations were tempered with purpose. While the people rejoiced, leaders, scientists, and strategists continued to prepare for the future. Humans understood that their victories had not ended the threats in the galaxy, but they had demonstrated that they could face any challenge with skill and determination. Every human contribution, from engineers developing new technologies to pilots testing advanced maneuvers, had played a part in reshaping the balance of power. The collective effort of humanity proved that when united, they were unstoppable. Alien civilizations began to approach diplomacy with caution. Respect replaced arrogance, and alliances were reconsidered. Humans had forced the galaxy to reevaluate its assumptions. No longer were they seen as weak, unpredictable, or insignificant. Their actions had shown that even a species thought primitive could outthink, outmaneuver, and defeat the most advanced empires. The galaxy had made a mistake, underestimating humans, and that error would shape interstellar relations for generations. Humans' rise had altered the strategic and political landscape forever. Technology and innovation continued to advance rapidly, spurred by the challenges of the war. Humans refined their fleets, upgraded defenses, and developed new ways to communicate and coordinate across vast distances. Each advancement strengthened their position and prepared them for any future conflict. Scientists studied alien designs, learning and adapting, turning former threats into new tools and strategies. Every lesson learned from the battles was applied to ensure that humanity would never again be caught off guard. Their victories became both a shield and a warning to any who might challenge them. Humanity's unity remained their greatest strength. Governments, organizations, and civilians continued to work together, maintaining the networks and systems that had enabled victory. Colonies previously considered minor became essential hubs of communication, research, and logistics. Every human, whether on a remote colony or the surface of Earth, felt part of a larger purpose. The collective effort of millions ensured that humanity could act decisively and cohesively, and that cohesion made them more than a collection of planets. It made them a single, formidable entity. The aliens, once overconfident, now studied humanity with careful attention. Every action was analyzed for patterns, and every potential response was considered. No fleet would approach human space without preparation, and no alliance would ignore their capabilities. Humanity's reputation grew as a species capable of planning, adapting, and executing with unmatched precision. Fear of provoking humans became a guiding principle for alien diplomats and commanders. The lessons learned from underestimating them were clear. Humans could not be ignored, underestimated, or dismissed. Humans themselves reflected on the cost of their victories, understanding that each battle had demanded sacrifice, skill, and courage. They celebrated their achievements, but they also honored those who had fought and those who had been lost. This sense of responsibility became part of the human identity, a reminder that power was not only about defeating enemies, but about protecting what they valued and ensuring that their actions were just and purposeful. Every victory carried a lesson. Every success reinforced the importance of unity, intelligence, and preparation. The galaxy had changed forever. Humans were no longer a minor species on a small blue planet. They had reshaped the balance of power, forcing every civilization to recognize their strength, adaptability, and intelligence. From the edges of human space to the core systems of the galaxy, stories of their victories spread, inspiring allies, warning potential foes, and establishing a reputation that would endure for centuries. Humans had proven that they could survive, innovate, and triumph against overwhelming odds. Their wrath, once underestimated, had become unstoppable. In this new era, humans looked outward with confidence and caution, ready to face whatever challenges the galaxy might present. Their rise was not driven by conquest, but by the necessity of survival and the pursuit of knowledge and progress. They had demonstrated that intelligence, creativity, and courage could change the course of history. The galaxy had made a mistake in underestimating humanity, and that mistake ensured that humans would never again be treated as weak, insignificant, or predictable. Theirs was a legacy of resilience, unity, and unstoppable strength, and the galaxy would never forget it.